What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make a mini game called Poison. And this just is everything you're going to need to create this mini game. And the rules are you have 9 tiles, and one of the tiles is poisoned. And if you click on that tile, you lose. So you kind of want to avoid the poison square, which is like a 1 in 9th chance. Okay, so I want you to start with the 3x3 base plate. And right in that base plate, put a 3x3 wall for your buttons. Now over here, this is where your screen's gonna lay on. And now this is 17 blocks long. And I want you to have 2 block gaps between each lamp, just like this. And now I'm gonna speed this up to make things faster. Okay, so now that you have your screen done, I forgot to add this down here. Okay, so now that you have your screen done, I want you to go behind the screen, behind every single tile. I want you to have 3 blocks on the first row, like this, and put repeaters on each block, facing in to the redstone lamps. Behind it, they're all gonna be hooked up just like this, and hooked up to a comparator with 2 droppers behind it facing each other. So the reason for this is that we'll all light up at the same time, and then this will send a signal. And don't forget, I want you to put an unstackable item in here. Not a stackable, just an unstackable so it can reach these other ones. Now right here, put a repeater right here, put full delay, and hook it up to the dropper like this so it can reset. Now the reason for this, if I leave it like this, this is a poisoned square. So if I click this button, send a signal to turn this on, and if it's poisoned, this will be left unlocked, which will send a signal through, allowing it to turn off. But if it was safe, this would be locked, just like this. So if I were to click this button, which would be the top right, it would stay on. But if it were poisoned, it'll shut off. So now, right under this block right here, I want you to add another dropper, facing each other just like this, and add a comparator with a repeater facing into a block just like this, and 2 blocks like this. This will hook up to a spot where it will actually reset the whole board. And now this part right here, add a target block right here just like that. Don't break the comparator. And now you're gonna have just like this, so power both of these on at the same time. Put a repeater with full delay on it and hook it up to the target block. Now the reason for this, also do not forget to put your items in here, or this won't work. Just put 1 in this one. So now when this gets activated, this will send a longer pulse, because if I left it like that, it would kind of be a fast pulse, but you want it to have a little bit of duration, so you can have a clean reset. Okay, so now I want you to do this to every single tile. I'm gonna speed things up to make things easier. Okay, so now that you have this complete, so this is kind of like the locking system and passing through system. I don't really know what to call it. So now what I want you to do is get these all hooked up from these buttons. So these buttons, the way to keep them nice and separated, so I want you to go behind, so these ones will activate a redstone wire right above it. Now you're going to go back 15 blocks. And when you have that, I want you to have 3 repeaters at the end just like this, and then complete the wire. Okay, so the reason for this, you might think that these will activate, but they won't, because that's 15 blocks away, and it can't reach the other ones because it would be 16 blocks. So now I want you to do this for each one, for each section, row of buttons. I'm losing my words. just want to make sure that this is working. Good. Okay, so now that when you have this part done, I want you to add your building blocks and put them just like this at the end. So when you have that, my voice cracked really bad. When you have that done, I want the one on the right to go right, just like this. The one in the middle to go forward, and the one on the left to go left. Now do this for each one. Okay, so now when you have this complete, now you're gonna connect this to the droppers. The top droppers on the left. Now this can be a little pain, so if you find a better way to do this, do so. And you can tell me. One quick thing, so instead of building ramps, I can make it look better if I add glass pillars just like this. I don't know if you knew this, but redstone can just climb up glass like this. Same with slabs. But glass, it can go up the pillar and down the pillar, but slabs it can only go up and not down. So quick little tip. Quick little tip. So right here, I got the 15th signal strength right here, but I wanted the 15th to be here. So what did I do? I actually expanded it by 1 because this acts like a redstone wire in a way. So then instead of being 1, 2, 3, 4, it starts 1, 2 right here. And you can also do that right here to expand. So you instead of having a limit of 15, you actually have a limit of 17 signal strength. And make sure when you build these, make sure they don't interfere with any of the redstone. Right here is an important part. Like, make sure this is very, like, out of the way and clear. Also, the reason why I'm making the glass pillars right here is so the one for the middle, the ones for the middle can fit, and the ones for right here can fit. Right between here. Okay, so you see what's going on here? Remember how I said don't let them interfere? Like, this would really, like, mess things up. So, I accidentally made a mistake. You see this wire? It actually should be pushed out 1. So it fits right here. I completely forgot to add the locking system here. Whoops. Okay, so sometimes I do this. If you ever have that, just rewire it. It's really easy to fix. Okay, so now that you have your wiring done, I want you to add, I think the next, yeah, I'm going to add the randomizer now. So behind here is where your randomizer is going to be. And it's going to connect to all of these redstone torches. So what it does, it'll pick one of the 9 squares, and when it picks it, it'll turn this off, and it'll be ready to send a signal through to tell that it was a poison if it gets picked. So I want you to do this for each one. Okay, so now that you have them wired up just like this, I want you to go to the middle one, just like this, back it up, and now this is where your randomizer is going to hook up. Like right, I prefer to have it right in the middle to make things easier. So now when you have this just like this, I want you to count 9 on both sides. So now that I have 9, I'm going to start making my randomizer. Now, I'm not really going to explain this because I did make a video on this but it's kind of in bad quality. So if you guys want me to make a new video on how to make a randomizer, I'll be very glad to do that. So make sure it's left, right, left, right, left, right. So it's editing Jackson here, and my mic was muted here because someone walked in my room. I think it was my sister. She walked in to say something when I was recording, and I forgot to unmute. Anyways, so right here I was just saying, make sure you test this before you hook it up, because you don't want it to be broken or your game won't work. So, because you see how that hopper got lifted up right as I click the button to start it, I just want you to make sure it's in full working order. See, just like that. That means it's working. It's okay. And it's gonna reset just now. Yep. And then now I want you. Now I was saying like make sure you hook it up to the start button, because the start button essentially activates the randomizer, which actually picks out a poison square, which is really important. So, yeah, you see how like, yeah, I was completely muted here. So, and if you made it this far, props to you. I appreciate it, and I hope that you really enjoy and learn something from my content. And yes, I did figure out I was muted, and you don't really miss anything. That's what my voiceover is for. So, I'll unmute and like, I'm not really talking this part because this part is supposed to be sped up. But yeah, my mic will come back right when I get back to the randomizer. So don't worry. Okay, so now I'm just going to quickly test to make sure this works. Alright, perfect. Gonna make sure she resets. She should. And bam. Okay, so now that you have your randomizer done, I want you, if you're building or watching, you're gonna, under each part for the outcome, I want you to put another. In my channel, you'll always see this dropper method I use. You're gonna have two, so this one, activate this one, it'll put in this one. Make sure they're facing each other just like this, and do this on both sides. Okay, so it's editing Jackson again, and you see these droppers. I completely forgot to add items to them, and for the final product didn't work until I'll add like a little bloopers scene at the end. But make sure, so keep following what I'm doing here. It still works. It's just you have to add items. Put like one item, it doesn't matter what item, into the first dropper, so the one that's connected to the randomizer. So please add items to the first droppers if you want this to work. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is that you can make these go down to the side and up. I want you to wire them to each one. Now this is like my least favorite part. Making this is the wiring parts, because I feel like I don't do them the most efficient way. But yeah, so make sure each one leads to, so there's 9 of these, none of those. Okay, so now that you're done, now when you're done wiring everything to the randomizer to the redstone torches for the locks, I want you to take now, we're gonna go here and we're gonna connect. We're gonna go down one with it. And I want you to connect them through the middle like this. So now what this does is it will actually run through here, both of these sides. Here, I'm a builder right now. So what you want is to go underneath just like this. Put a line like that. Have like another line underneath, just like this. That way so you can build this way easier. So now you're gonna have repeaters going into this so it activates each one, but make sure that they're fully delayed. 4 clicks. No, it's just 3, my bad. So now the reason for this is so, like, if it resets, we click the wrong one, it will activate all of these, sending a signal to every single one of these, unlocking it, and if it was turned on, it would reset, and it will come back around like this. And then you want it to run around just like this because you want it to reset itself because you want it to go back to starting position. Just like that. Now do the same thing on this side. So now if you have a wire kind of like this interfering, I just want you to break it and then just do that. It's super simple fix. Make sure I didn't mess anything up. So now make sure that the repeaters that you're putting in is the one in the starting position. Okay, so now that you have these 2 repeaters, when you hook them up just like this, and now it is normal, this one is supposed to be far back because of the positioning of the randomizer. And now this is a little awkward part, but you need to hook up all these together. And the reason why I'm saying it's awkward is because you got to make a glass pillar going down in the middle. Okay, so now at the end of each one, take a block like this and add a repeater. Now, just in case, I messed up on this part a lot. Just have them like stick out one more block just like that, so they can hook up to the glass pillar easy. Okay, so right here, I forgot to hook this one. Oh, be right back. Okay, so now that you have it like this, I want you to bring it down. Now it's okay if it connects up and down. This is just a one-way. It cannot interfere because of the repeaters. Okay, and right here, I remember my last model when I was recording it. I found out like I made a mistake right here. Have this one be a solid block. Or, hold on. Yes, have it a solid block so it can send a signal to this repeater because you want it to reset. Now let me just count this real quick. Okay, now I want you to connect this here. Whoa, that's super off balance. Okay, so now that you have all this wiring done, this is what it should look like. So now it should actually just be ready to play. Okay, so I'm gonna abruptly cut the video to this scene, and that's because before I show you this, there were 3 mistakes I made. Now, if you're replicating this, it's super easy to fix, so don't stress. So my first one was this button. So I accidentally counted 16 here instead of 15, and therefore the wire couldn't make it to the light. So I just simply fix it. So it was like this. This is 16th, but if I just do this, now this is like 15, also 15, and then it sends. So that was the first mistake I made. And the second mistake I made was I completely forgot to add items in all these droppers. So it couldn't reset the board. And then the third mistake was I completely forgot to add wires right here. Who's this blank just like this? So please don't make these mistakes. I mean, you might, because I make mistakes way, way, way too often. Like, I took so many attempts to make this video, and that's probably why I haven't uploaded in a few days. But now, before I show you this working, this is the reset button. So if I just like click a few buttons before I click this button, I can just reset it. So it should turn off the lights. Now, just follow it. Like, it really doesn't you just make a line going right into this block. So it resets. So it's kind of like an addition to this. So yeah, now I'm going to quickly show you how this works. So I'm going to click a button, this button, start button. I said button like 5 times. And now one of these buttons is poisoned. So now I want to go ahead and start playing. And as I play this, I just want to say there will be some bloopers coming up. The bloopers contains of me finding the mistakes. I got it wrong. Yeah, it's just me finding the mistakes. And before you go, yes, I will show you what happens when you just click all of the buttons without clicking this. I didn't click this one. So if I were to do this, it would actually be just fine. So it would just pick a random one. Yeah, then it's going to reset. So yeah, this is poison. I got the idea from one of my brothers who were playing with something. And I thought, oh, what if I just replicated that in Minecraft? And I did. And this is actually not that difficult. It looks complex, but it's actually very straightforward. The parts, you just have your wires and stuff. It took me like 4 hours to invent. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoy the coming up bloopers. Thanks for watching this far. I really appreciate you. Okay, so that didn't activate because that means I made a mistake and that's embarrassing. Okay, now let me find out what happened. Wow. Okay, let me just add a block instead of. Oh my god, guys, I just found the problem. I didn't add I didn't add items to the droppers. Okay, why is this on? You guys, this is so sad.